All right, so are you ready to dive into some serious political turbulence? Because today we're tackling the Trumpsnado, back for round two. And this time, it's Latin America bracing for impact.
The return of Donald Trump to the White House has certainly generated a lot of discussion. It's raising questions, anxieties, and hopes about the future of U.S.-Latin American relations.
Questions. It's more like a full-blown political earthquake. I mean, who saw this coming? The guy swept both the electoral A&D popular vote, talk about defying expectations, and with a potential Republican majority in both the Senate and House, Trump's basically got a free pass to reshape foreign policy, especially towards Latin America.
A unified government definitely gives the president more power to implement his agenda. And yes, there's a lot of speculation about what that means for our neighbors to the south.
Speculation. Down in Argentina, they're practically dancing in the streets. Argentina's new president, Javier Milei, a guy who gives Trump a run for his money in the boldness department, is banking on Trump 2.0. He's got this vision of Trump, persuading the IMF to shower Argentina with loans.
Well, President Milei has publicly expressed optimism about stronger economic ties with the U.S. under President Trump.
Optimism. He sees dollar signs, envisions Argentina as the next economic powerhouse. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. What about a stronger dollar? Trade barriers popping up everywhere. Argentina's economy is fragile.
Yeah.
This could be the final blow, right?
It's true that a strong dollar can have a mixed impact. It makes their exports pricier, but imports cheaper, which could benefit consumers.
Economics 101. But we got to talk about the big, loud elephant in the room. Migration. Remember all those fiery speeches about walls and deportations? Well, get ready for round two.
It seems migration will be a major focus of President Trump's second term. His administration's already hinted at stricter border control and a crackdown on undocumented immigrants.
Crackdown. This could be a full-blown assault on anyone seeking a better life north of the border. Imagine families torn apart, kids in cages, the National Guard everywhere. This is real-life drama, folks, not some political game.
The potential impact on families and communities is definitely something to consider. The humanitarian aspect can't be ignored.
Ignored. It's their reality. Every day, people risk their lives crossing that border, fleeing violence and poverty. They're not criminals. They're dreamers caught in the middle of this political tug-of-war.
And there are many factors driving migration, economic hardship, violence in Central America. Addressing those root causes is key to finding real solutions.
Root causes. Easy to say from afar. Try telling that to Joaquin, a welder who commutes daily from Tijuana to San Diego. Gas prices skyrocketing. Discrimination on the rise, constant fear of deportation. His American dream is turning into a nightmare, and he's not alone.
Joaquin's story highlights how interconnected the U.S. and Mexico really are, both economically and socially. People's livelihoods depend on that cross-border movement.
It's a tangled web, that's for sure. And with Trump back in charge, things are about to get a whole lot more complicated. We'll be back after a short break to untangle this mess. Stay with us.
A complex dynamic is an understatement, really. It has a long history, and it's been, turbulent.
Turbulent. We're talking tequila-soaked, taco-fueled, high-drama kind of relationship here. And now Trump's back. It's like a bull let loose in a china shop, ready to wreak havoc. But before we start panicking, remember, even Trump can't just dictate everything, right? Plenty of people aren't buying what he's selling.
True. The electorate is divided, and there's bound to be pushback against some of his policies. The Democrats, advocacy groups, they're not going to stay silent.
Silent. They're gearing up for a fight, honey. Remember the massive protest against his border policies last time? People power's a force to be reckoned with, even for a president who thinks he's calling all the shots.
Absolutely. Public opinion and activism have a real impact on shaping policy.
And let's not forget the lawyers, just waiting to drag Trump into court and tie him up in legal knots. DACA, the travel ban, all those lawsuits. Get ready for round two, folks, the legal battle royale.
Legal challenges are definitely on the table. The courts will have a big say in how far any new policies can actually go.
Legality. With Trump, it's all about testing the limits, seeing how much he can get away with. He's got the platform, maybe even a Republican-controlled Congress, but he's playing a risky game here, The American people are watching, and they're not afraid to call his bluff.
He'll be under scrutiny for sure. Congress, the courts, the public, they'll all be watching closely.
Scrutinized. More like they're going to be watching him like a hawk, waiting for him to slip up. And let's face it, with his track record, that's bound to happen. But let's zoom out for a second. What does Trump 2.0 mean for the rest of Latin America?
Well, the impact will depend on the specific country and its relationship with the U.S. It's not a one-size-fits-all situation.
Very. This is going to be a ripple effect felt all the way from the Rio Grande to the tip of South America. And in the middle of it all, China, looming large, breathing down America's neck. Remember all that talk about a trade war? Things are about to get real, folks.
China's growing influence in the region has definitely worried U.S. policymakers.
Worried. It's more like a full-blown meltdown. Watching China waltz in with their billions in investments, infrastructure projects, trade deals. It's like watching your ex move on with someone richer, smarter, and better looking. Talk about a bruised ego.
China's involvement in Latin America has grown significantly, especially when it comes to trade and investment.
Grown. It feels like a takeover. While the U.S. is stuck in the past, clinging to those outdated Cold War tactics. Too little, too late, maybe? But hold on, this isn't just a two-player game. Latin America has its own cards to play, and they might just surprise everyone.
That's an important point. Latin American countries have their own agendas, their own priorities. They're not just pawns in some global power struggle.
Pawns.
Yeah.
They're queens, honey, ready to take control of their own destiny. Resources, talent, and they're tired of being pushed around. This could be their chance to shine.
Absolutely. They have the potential to leverage what they've got and build the future they want.
Leverage. You're going to be playing hardball, demanding respect, a seat at the table. The U.S. better watch out or they'll find themselves left behind.
It's a fascinating situation, really. How these dynamics unfold over the next few years will be something to watch.
Fascinating. This is a political thriller in real time. Twists, turns, drama. Enough to keep us glued to the news for the next 4 years, that's for sure. But let's get back to the issue that's dominating the conversation. Migration. Trump's made it clear he's doubling down on his hardline stance. But how's he actually going to make it happen this time?
Well, the administration has signaled they'll continue to push for tighter border control. We're talking increased enforcement, physical barriers, stricter asylum rules, the works.
Stricter. He's talking about slamming the door shut, turning away refugees, separating families. It's a humanitarian disaster waiting to happen.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. It's a political minefield too, right? Even in Trump's America, there are limits to what people will accept.
Public opinion on immigration is complicated. There's a whole range of views on how to handle it.
Complicated. This is a moral crisis, plain and simple. We're talking about human beings, not numbers on a spreadsheet or pawns in some political game. You can build a wall as high as you want, but you can't stop people from yearning for a better life.
Exactly. We have to remember the human cost of these policies. Approach this with compassion and empathy.
Compassion. Not exactly Trump's strong suit, but maybe, just maybe, all this chaos, all this uncertainty will force us to finally do something about the broken immigration system, the economic disparities, the real reasons behind this crisis.
Absolutely. Addressing those root causes, both in the U.S. and in the countries people are fleeing, is crucial. That's the only way to find solutions that actually work.
Solutions, that sounds awfully political. This isn't about talk, it's about action. Courage, compassion, a willingness to challenge the way things have always been done. Who knows, maybe Trump 2.0, as crazy as it sounds, might just be the push we need to finally get it right.
It's hard to say what the long-term impact of his policies will be. We're in uncharted territory here.
Uncharted territory. Honey, we're living in a real-life reality show now, and the stakes couldn't be higher. So buckle up, folks, because things are about to get even more interesting. All right, let's talk Mexico. They're about to be front and center in the Trump NATO. Mark my words, our partners in crime, our source for tequila and tacos, and the ones who will feel the full force of Trump's, shall we say, unique diplomatic style.
Mexico and the U.S., deeply connected economically, geographically. It's a complicated relationship, that's for sure.
Complicated. It's a love-hate thing, fueled by margaritas and border crossings, with a whole lot of drama on the side. We need each other, but we love to point fingers too. And with Trump back in the picture, oh, get ready for fireworks.
There are definitely points of tension, that's for sure. Trade, migration, security, cooperation. It's a delicate balance.
Delicate, honey, we're on a collision course.
Yeah.
Trump's got his finger hovering over that tariff button, still obsessed with the wall, and ready to blame Mexico for, well, pretty much anything that goes wrong.
Well, President Trump has voiced concerns about illegal immigration, drug trafficking. He wants Mexico to step up, cooperate more.
Cooperate. He wants to strong-arm them into doing things his way. Tariffs as weapons, threats to shut down the border. But guess what? Mexico's not just going to roll over. They've got their own interests, their own pride, and they're not afraid to stand up to a bully.
Mexico has always defended its sovereignty. They've resisted pressure before when they felt it wasn't in their best interest.
Resisted. They'll be fighting back, honey, using their economic leverage, their diplomatic skills, and they've got a new best friend in their corner, China.
Right. China's been increasing their involvement with Mexico economically, diplomatically. It gives Mexico another option, another powerful friend.
More than just a friend, they're looking like a knight in shining armor. China's swooping in with investments, trade deals, while the U.S. is busy building walls and throwing tantrums. You snooze, you lose, America.
China's growing presence in the region definitely presents opportunities, but also challenges for everyone involved.
For Mexico, it's a chance to play both sides, get the best deals, and show the world they're calling the shots now. Risky, yeah, but they're holding some strong cards.
It'll be interesting to see how it all plays out, how these geopolitical shifts reshape the landscape.
Interesting. This is going to be a political thriller, honey. Betrayals, plot twists, enough to keep us all glued to the news for the next 4 years. But let's not forget the people caught in the middle of all this, the migrants. Those with dreams, families, risking it all for a chance at something better.
We can't forget the human side of things, the impact of policies on real people's lives. We need to advocate for humane solutions, for compassion.
Compassion. That word doesn't seem to be in Trump's vocabulary. He's treating migrants like criminals, caging children, turning away those seeking refuge. It's a dark chapter for America, truly.
The way migrants are treated at the border has sparked a lot of debate, a lot of concern. Are the facilities adequate? What about family separation? The rights of asylum seekers? There are big questions being raised.
Debate. This is a full-blown humanitarian crisis.
Yeah.
And it's not just at the border. Trump's policies are creating this climate of fear, of uncertainty for millions living in the shadows. They're working hard, raising families, contributing to our economy.
The impact is felt far beyond the border, in communities all across the U.S.
Communities. This is the very fabric of our society we're talking about. Teachers, nurses, construction workers, entrepreneurs, artists. The people who make America what it is. And Trump's trying to tear it all down.
It's true. Immigration has shaped the United States. It's part of our story throughout our history.
History. We're living it now, and it's time to wake up, America. Time to stand up for what's right, to fight for justice, for compassion. America is a nation built by immigrants. Our strength lies in our diversity, not division.
These are complex issues with no easy answers. We need honest conversation, thoughtful debate, and a commitment to finding solutions that are effective, but also humane.
Solutions. We need to change the whole story, reject the fear, and reclaim the American dream. It has to be for everyone, no matter where you were born or how you got here.
The future of U.S.-Latin American relations. It all comes down to the choices both governments make and the will of the people they represent.
The people. It's time for us to rise up, make our voices heard, demand a better future for everyone. And that, my friends, is where our deep dive ends. But your journey begins. Stay informed, stay engaged, and stay hopeful. This political roller coaster is just getting started, and we'll be here to help you navigate the twists and turns. Until next time, stay curious, stay connected, and most importantly, stay strong.
Thanks for joining us.